Okay, so I am going to be talking about. It's a very serious topic I want to talk about. I want to give a disclaimer. Y'all might hear my kids in the background. Like I said, this is Can We Talk Real Talk. There will be no too many edits on this videos or anything like that because I want it to be just as if me and you having a conversation in the living room. Okay. I want to talk about this topic because it's hitting home for me. Something just recently happened to my daughter. And then I personally can talk about it because I've been 13 or 14 before. I've had older guys talk to me, and 9 out of 10 did not care that I was 13 or 14 years old. It was not a big problem for them. So that's a big problem. And that's what going all the way back to 2000 and the early 2000s on up to now I'm only speaking about, but we got to remember that before it was a me, there was somebody else, and these perverts, these older guys, these dudes that do not care that these girls are young, and actually the fact that they are hunting these girls. I'm calling it hunting. And I'm going to give my personal opinion why I call it hunting. These guys are scoping out young girls. They're looking for young girls. They're mentally messed up in the mind. They're obviously sexually attracted to young girls, and for them, who knows, maybe it's just a game. For them, maybe it's just another fantasy or whatever the case may be. But I'm here to talk about it because there needs to be a warning shot. A warning shot needs to be fired for these perverts out here that are out here scoping out these young girls. Personally, in my apartment complex, I have watched older gentlemen looking at my daughters. And I'm the type of mother that if you see my kids, you'll literally see me right behind them. I'm not too far from them when they step outside this door. So as they're scoping out my children, I'm scoping out them now. Now my eyes are on them, letting them know, hey, yeah, I see you, and it ain't going to go down the way you think it's going to go down. But there's more mothers out there that need to be warned because we're thinking on a small scale, maybe, I don't know, maybe on a small scale, some of us are thinking that, yeah, it's some perverts out here, yeah, some predators out here or whatever. But I see it on a large scale. Just by peeping the scene, just by knowing when I was that age, how many guys were trying to talk to me. I'm gonna give two stories. So personally, I was probably like 13 years old. There was a guy that had approached my mother and was telling my mother, "Hey, I think your daughter's beautiful. I would like to talk to her." My mom kindly said, "Oh, well, that's even nice that you even approached me, but my daughter's 13 years old." The guy backed off. In my opinion, that type of guy is honorable. He didn't know I was 13 years old. Obviously, for him to even have to approach my mom, he probably knew I couldn't be that older than, obviously I'm not a grown woman because why would you approach my mom? But still, when he found out I was 13 years old, he backed off. That's the type of man that is honorable. Then there's these perverts out here that don't give a damn how old your child is. Matter of fact, they appreciate the fact that they're 12 and 13 and not being watched and can easily be convinced to give out the number because they're wanting attention, right? At 13, when that guy had was talking to my mom about me, I actually, if he probably would have caught me without my mom and just would have came up to me, I probably would have given him my number because at 13 years old, I was developed. In my mind, I'm thinking that I'm older than what I was. I'm thinking I wanted attention. I didn't mind no one telling me I'm beautiful. I wanted someone to say I was beautiful. I wanted someone to be in my face. So we have to realize that our children, our young girls, not only do they want attention and they're feeling themselves, then there's these predators out here that are preying on 13 years old and 14 years old and even younger. Of course, we know that. But for our young girls, we have to, and it has to be more than just the mom. We need the aunties to come out and have conversations with your nieces. We need the grandmas to have conversation with your grandchildren. We even need the friends and the associates of you to be mentioning, especially the women, to be mentioning to their daughters, "Hey, baby, let me tell you when I was younger how this went." And nothing good came out of it. With an older guy trying to talk to me, he was only trying to use me sexually, because that's what it is. Ain't no older guy out here searching for no young girl, and giving her a house, a home, and stability and things like that. No. That's not the case. It's when they're 13 and 14 years old, they're out here looking for you sexually. They're trying to have sex with you, and they're willing to butter you up, say what they gotta say, and then they're on to the next one. So this is a major, major problem, especially in our community, because I can't personally speak about no one else's community. I can only speak about our community, okay? What they're doing in their community, they would know what's going on and they would have to handle that. But as far as us and us paying attention to our children more, these devices are very crafty. I take it as a two-edged sword. It was meant for bad, right? We got all the pornography and their kids being exposed to this and you being exposed to that as well, because as grown-ups, we see it too. And then, on the other hand, it has been a good thing because we see all these atrocities that's happening to us are getting exposed. More and more, we're seeing the truth about what's really going on around in the world. We're getting to see things that we wouldn't see because the internet, right? So, and good things. And like I said, then there's the good, then there's the bad. We have to really keep our children off these devices. We have to stay in their business. No, they're not going to appreciate it. At 13 and 14 years old, I didn't want my mom in my business. But why I didn't want my mom in my business is because I was up to no good. Point blank, period. We also got to rear these children into getting into sports and things like that to keep them from being idle, because the idle time, I know y'all see my daughter's little finger in the background. Like I said, this is real. Can we talk real talk and there will be no edits? You're going to hear children talking. You might even see my daughter finger in the background waving because she's very goofy. But we have to get our children into doing things that are productive. They cannot be idle. They sitting here on these devices and they're looking up booty pictures and porn pictures and inappropriate stuff. They're on TikTok with other kids and girls twerking and dudes behind the girls twerking, and a whole bunch of lesbian and gay stuff is flooding the internet, right? And they're getting influenced. Not only that, and you got to understand this. You got to understand this. It's not just going to be acceptable that you're not teaching it in your home. That's good. That's great. In your home, you're not doing this and you're not allowing that. But if they go to these public schools, they're around a crowd of kids. And let me just break it down on to 20. 20 kids then already been on the internet. Let's say you're not letting your child be on a device, but 20 kids then already been on a device. They done seen this, they done seen that. They're around your kid now. Now it has entered your home without your permission, and with you trying your best for it not to enter your home, because you're not allowing your child on the device. Not only that, they don't see a whole bunch of dudes running in and out your house. They don't see you smoking. They don't see you drinking. They don't see none of these things, which is good, because for the parents that are allowing that, you got to realize that your kid is not going to do what you say. They're going to do what they see. And that's whether they see it from you or from the outside world, okay? They're going to do those things, especially, like I say, sometimes it's not about peer pressure. Sometimes it's about influence. Your kid might not be around, might not have friends that are doing that, but then they see one kid doing it, 2 kids, 3 kids, 4 kids, 5 kids, and so on and so on. And it's to the point where it seems like everybody's doing it. So then they get influenced, okay? I've been there. Like I said, I've been there, done that. I had a time where I didn't want to show my body because I was so thick and so this and so that, but I was young and I didn't want the attention. But after I seen every girl that I knew was doing it, I started doing it too, because I figured that was it wasn't no problem. It was the right thing to do. Hey, it was okay to do, or whatever the case may be. And here I am with 5 children now. So we're trying to prevent our kids from not only just getting pregnant at a young age, we got to prevent them from catching these diseases that's out here. Then we have to prevent them from running into weirdos that can possibly take their life, instead of them being able to grow up and have the full life that God hopefully intended for them. We have these predators out here that can take your child life, that will disgrace them by having sex with them, have them out here looking wild and stupid and bringing shame into your family. But the fact that these predators are hunting these kids, the fact that they're out here watching these kids and got their eye on these young children, that needs to be made aware. Because like I said, the first story I told you was an honorable man. Like I said, not everyone's like that. The second one I'll tell you is, my daughter recently just had something happen to her. Something that I tried to prevent. Something I'm not going to get into too many details about. But the fact that this grown up had the audacity to even know that was her age, did not care, was willing to go as far as to meet her, knowing that the consequences that come behind it if you get caught. They're not caring about that. They're looking to get with your daughters, maybe even the sons, and then they're on to the next child. And a lot of times these kids are not saying anything about it. You have no clue, but your 13 or 14-year-old might have already been with 3 or 4 grown ass men. We're not just talking about the little boys that's their age, because these little boys are out here hunting too. They have sex on their mind too. And the fact that we have to protect our young girls and our young guys, we have to direct them. We have to give them the game. You do not allow your child to walk out here blindly without knowing what's going on. There should be a red flag when a grown up tries to talk to your young daughter. Your young daughter should automatically let them know, hey, look, I'm 13, I'm 14, leave me alone. Right? Instead of being willing to accept the number and give the number and accept the compliments and things like that. We have to put up that barrier. And my question to you, I have my personal opinion about what to do and what not to do, but I want you all to leave a comment. I want you all to engage in this conversation, because I know that there's some women out here that have had when they were younger, had older guys talking to them, that have talked to younger guys, that have had their nieces, that have had their cousins that can testify to it, that can attest to it, and that your sisters can attest to it. These things needs to be talked about, because on a small scale, we would think that we're aware of it, we know it's out here, but it's a lot of guys that are down, that are willing, that are out here scoping out our young children, and our daughters are not saying no. They're not telling us nothing about it. A lot of them are fast, and I'm just here to keep it real. Just because a kid is classified as a kid and should be classified as a kid, because that's what they are, a child, they're not acting like children. They're not acting like children. It's getting wild. When they say the wild, wild west, it's the wild, wild west out here. Not just amongst us, but amongst our children. And the thing is, a lot of these households are being ran without both parents involved. Either they're co-parenting from a distance, or there's the other parent is absent. And you might not be allowing it to come in your home, but then the other parent has got all this other stuff going on in their home. And that conversation need to be had with the parent to let them know, hey, it's in our kids' best interest if we can agree on this, even if we can't agree on that. Do not allow them to see explicit stuff in your home. Don't have it around. It would be beneficial, because one thing about it is grown-ups don't like being told what to do. Even if it is the best advice, it's good advice. They don't want to be told what to do. So you have to learn how to talk to that parent and let them know it'll be beneficial if you don't have a lot of women coming through your home and the kids see it. Same thing if he's trying to tell you that. It'll be beneficial if you don't have a lot of people coming into your home. If you don't have explicit stuff in your home. If you're not smoking and drinking around your kids. Because one thing for sure, even if the kids are seeing it out there at school and wherever they might be, which they shouldn't be too far. They shouldn't be too far without you knowing. You should be knowing their every move. But even if it's that, they should be able to say, and I've never seen that from my mom, if they have respect for you, that can sometimes deter them from going the wrong way. Knowing that, hey, well, my mom was this, she was this type of way, my dad was this type of way, and I appreciate that. They look up to that. That can maybe help them, because our kids are falling by the dozen. There's not a lot of morals that our kids have. I see kids out here that are not my kids, and I be wanting to have conversations with them. And some of them I have had conversations with them. Then I look at my kids personally, who I am seeing doing the wrong things, that have gotten like I said, my daughter has gotten herself in a situation that I had to help her get out of, but still that memory is going to be with her. And we have to protect our children, because like I said, they're hunting our kids. You're out there walking to the store, they're looking at your child. Your kids walking behind you, and their eyes is on your kids. So I don't let my kids walk behind me. I need us to be able to see. And I don't let my kids go to people's houses. And I'm going to cut off the time with the devices, because If you're not, unless you're able to watch your kids on them devices, don't let them get on it. Because they go search up stuff that they're not supposed to search. And then they want to fight